Hi, I'm Kimberly. Welcome back to the Success Series Talks. Talks designed to help you get what you want out of life. Remember to listen, take notes, and most importantly, act. Do you remember when you were a kid and your parents were always worried about who you were hanging around? Maybe they said something like, "I don't want you to hang around Tommy," or "Why don't you make friends with Sarah? She's such a nice person." Then when you started dating, your parents may have wanted to meet every person before you left the house with them, right? This may have been an annoying thing for you, but your parents are right. Who you hang around makes a big difference. The problem is a lot of people think it only matters when you're young. However, did you know it is just as important who you hang out with as an adult? Did you know that if you took the 5 people you most hang out with, your income, relationship, quality, and other things will probably be about the same as theirs? Now, if this isn't a little alarming to some of you, it probably should be. If you don't like your life situations, then you need to go to new places and find new friends and start hanging out with them. Let me tell you just how powerful the influence of others is. Now, I have always been afraid of heights, and especially when there's the possibility of falling and getting hurt or even dying. So when I was younger, I was a teenager at the time, I went on a rafting trip with others from my high school. Now while I was on it, there came a part where we could climb to the top of this huge cliff and jump off. I have no idea what came over me that day, but something did. As I watched others jumping off from down below, it didn't look all that high to me. And in a very non-characteristic moment, I decided to climb up there. The climb up there seemed a little precarious, and by the time I climbed to the top, I couldn't imagine myself going back down the same way that I had come up. So when I stood on the top and looked down, complete fear seized me. I thought, oh my goodness, what have I done? And the only thought worse than jumping down at that moment was the thought of climbing back down. I remember that moment thinking, yep, they are going to have to call search and rescue because there is no way they are getting me down from here. To make matters worse, I couldn't just fall off because there were rocks below, so I actually had to take and jump a little farther out. I also knew that if I did not go in like an arrow, it was going to feel like a brick wall when I hit. As I was contemplating search and rescue, 2 rafts went by, and perhaps sensing my hesitation, began chanting, "Jump, jump, jump, jump." Well, I must have gotten excited and pumped up from it, which momentarily helped me forget my fear, and suddenly, without knowing exactly how it happened, I realized I was flying through the air. Once in the air, I forgot everything. It all went out the window, and I started flapping my arms like a bird. When I hit, you guessed it, my arms took the brunt, and because I wasn't plugging my nose, all that water went shooting straight up. Felt like it hit my brain. I remember it seemed like forever to surface. However, when I finally did, I felt pretty good, and I was actually excited. See, the people around me literally influenced my decision. If they had been doomsayers and said, "It doesn't look safe. What if you don't jump far enough and die?" Do you think I would have jumped? I don't. Instead, they were encouraging me by letting me know that I could do it. All of them had done it, and it had been safe. So by logic, it should be safe for me as well. So the point of this story is not necessarily to go jump off of any cliffs. I'm not encouraging anyone to do that. I haven't done that since that day. That isn't something I find enjoyable. But it's to find people who encourage you to take good, calculated risks. If you tell someone your dreams and they discourage you from doing it, and they really don't have any good reason or any advice to help it make it better or more likely that you succeed, it would be wise to just not continue to hang out with them all the time, and you definitely don't want to tell them any more of your dreams. You will have enough doubts and fears of your own. You need to surround yourself with those who believe in you and encourage you to go after your own dreams. Do you know why your closest friends and family will sometimes discourage you from your dreams? There's a couple of reasons. So sometimes it is because they want to protect you. They know there's a chance you will fail, and they want to keep you from the pain. However, let me ask you, isn't it also painful to not get what you want? So don't listen to those who discourage you for this reason. Another reason why people may not want you to try something new is because you make them feel uncomfortable. Maybe that sounds funny. Why would you succeeding make someone else feel uncomfortable? Well, chances are they also have dreams and goals, which they have stuffed in a deep, dark closet. And when they see you go after your dreams, it starts to tug at them just a little bit and remind them that they aren't really satisfied, and that bothers them. So then they start to discourage you. Ever seen one crab in a bucket? You won't, because it would crawl out. Ever see two of them get out? You won't, because as soon as one starts to climb out, the other one automatically pulls them back in. So as long as there are two, they will become dinner. Don't surround yourself with those who will pull you down simply so they can stay in their comfort zones. They may not mean to. Most likely, they don't even know they are doing it. And that's the thing, too. If you go after your dreams in a strange way, you're going to make them think about it, and you're giving them permission to do it themselves. Chances are they've been told that they can't do it, that it's not worth it, that they're not good enough, that it'll be too hard, it'll take too long, it'll take too much money, whatever it may be. But when they see you doing it, you might actually give them the courage they need to do it. So be that kind of a person, the person who enables other people to go after their dreams. Also, on a side note, make sure that you never become one of the discouragers. If someone tells you their dream and you feel the need to bring them down to earth, especially if this someone is a child, then stop yourself and either encourage them, or if you can't do that, at least sit and listen to them tell you their dream, and then let them know you believe they can do anything they set their minds to. Don't be a crab. Maybe you know 500 people who tried and failed, but consider that if even one person has succeeded, then it is certainly possible for someone else to. And if no one has ever done it, then consider that you might as well be the one who does and inspires people in the future. Now, if you are thinking that it is very difficult to find new friends in an area when all your old ones are still there, you're right. It can be. This is why a lot of people, when they get out of jail, despite really wanting to change their lives, go back to their same habits and eventually find themselves back in jail. And then everyone looks at them and says, well, why'd they do that? Didn't they know this was going to lead to the same place? Well, yeah, but it was because it wasn't the easy way. It was hard to get out of that comfort zone, to find new friends. So you can't leave finding friends to chance, any more than you should leave finding a spouse to chance. It should be done intentionally. Sure, people at work or in your church will naturally start talking to you and start inviting you to do things. And if these people are always inviting you to do things that are just time wasters and don't improve yours or anyone else's lives at all, then you may need to not always accept everything. Now, there is nothing wrong with going to a movie once in a while with people or just having fun with them. There's nothing wrong with that at all. However, if regularly they are inviting you to spend and waste money and time on frivolous things like movies, bars, gambling, and restaurants, unless you really like their lifestyle and want to be just like them, I would find some new situations. Now, how do you do this? Well, I'm glad you asked. You could start signing up to go to various seminars and conferences. It will put you in an entirely different group of people who are most likely already looking to go somewhere in life and have goals. If you start hanging around with them, chances are your activities will look different and they will start putting thoughts into your head. Instead of asking you if you want to go to a movie, they may invite you to a great finance or leadership retreat. Instead of asking you what your favorite movie is, they'll probably ask you who your favorite speaker is. This will probably put you a little out of your comfort zone, which will then cause you to have to grow a little. And in the process, you will be closer to becoming the person who can reach your goals. Your new friends will expect more out of you than just watching the average 5 hours of TV a day. You will soon see that your spouse likes you more, and your kids, and maybe you will start getting raises you didn't have before. Another suggestion for finding new people to associate with is sign up for clubs or services and charity activities. Wealthy people tend to hang out at these events, believe it or not. And by wealthy, I don't just mean rich, okay? By wealthy, I mean people who have the lifestyle most people really want. They're wealthy in relationships and spiritually and in their health. And they're wealthy in money as well. They are truly happy, not because of their money, but because of their lifestyle, which includes doing things that really matter. And if you go to the events, chances are you will find new people there. Another option is I know people who've actually moved, so they could be in a better neighborhood with people they knew made more money. Now, I'm not talking about moving into the neighborhood of the millionaires and going into massive debt. Okay, that's not what we're meaning here. I am saying find a reasonable spot that will give you different places to shop at, a different church to attend, different schools for your kids. If you start putting yourself in a position to regularly start meeting different people, it will not be long before you will have new friends. Another possibility is to seek out a mentor. Find someone who has what you want, the real lifestyle you want, and ask them what to do. Maybe offer to pay them to be mentored by them, and then make sure that everything they ask you to do, you do it. You need to be honest with them and let them know what you need in life, and then they can help you to see what you're missing or in ways that you can improve. And over time, if they see the effort you are making to truly change, they will probably at some point introduce you to other people as well. If you don't change, then they aren't going to want to hang around you because they don't want your lifestyle. So you're going to have to change. Then they'll introduce you to others who are the right kind of people to hang around. And soon you will become the type of person you always had the potential to be. Remember, associations aren't just people. So sometimes we start to think that that just means that the people you hang around with. It's actually more than just that, though. So it's also what you read, listen, and watch. Well, that will have just as great of an effect on the type of person you become as the people you invite to your house. So think about this for a minute. Every time you turn on the TV, ask yourself if the people on the show or in the movie are the type of people you would invite through your front door. And if they aren't, then why are you inviting them into your living room to sit with your family? I mean, think about that for a minute. Would you be friends or let your kids be friends with someone who uses the type of language that shows up in that movie? If not, don't invite them to teach your family that. Would you invite them in to tell all those jokes or expose your kids to promiscuity? If not, then don't invite them in via the TV. Whether in person or on the screen, they will have the same effect on your family. Pick bad associations, and your family will lower their standards to be more comfortable around those things. Pick good associations, and your family will raise their standards to be more comfortable around those things, and the same goes for being around people. When I was younger, my mom was pretty strict on the TV shows she would let us watch and the movies. I remember there was one show, and we had been watching it every day until one day my mom realized how much of it had a husband and wife making cutting remarks to each other continuously. Well, she didn't figure we needed any help coming up with rude things to say to each other. So you guessed it. That TV show was blacklisted and we could never watch it again. We had very few shows that we could watch because anything that did not display everyone in it acting as my mom thought our family should act was not allowed. She only wanted us to read, listen, and watch things that would help us to be better. She knew that what we continuously came in contact with would start to influence our own behavior. And she was right. If you don't think those things influence you, try completely changing what you read, listen, and watch for 1 month and see if others notice a difference. Everything that goes into your brain through any of your senses is forever stored. Did you know that? It never leaves. Now, you may not consciously remember it, but it is there somewhere, and it can come back at any time, maybe at times when you don't want it to come back. So if you constantly read books where the parents yell at each other, don't you think that eventually that will affect your own relationships? So I have worked with teenagers, and a lot of them listen to really harsh music. And I often hear them say, well, I don't really listen to the words, I just like the tune or beat. Well, let me assure you, your brain takes in every part of that music, including those lyrics that you say you're not paying any attention to. If you constantly listen to music that is depressing, or where people talk about suicide, how long before something hard happens in your life and then suddenly your first thought for solving it is that? Only let things into your mind that elevate you, that have the ability to help you reach your greatest potential. The mind is powerful. I have a talk on that too. If you want to know just how powerful your mind is, go check out my one talk that talks about the power of the mind. I think that's what it's called, the power of the mind. So the mind is powerful and figures whatever you most provide it with must be what is most important to you. that will affect your words, thoughts, and actions. I once heard a saying that says, watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your destiny. What does your destiny look like? That's kind of a scary thought, isn't it? Think about that for real. If what you regularly do every day becomes your destiny, what are you destined to become? If your words reflect your future life, what is your future life going to look like? What habits do you have? Do you have habits that lead to success, such as good money habits, personal improvement, or health? Or do you have habits that promote mediocrity? What you continuously do will determine the quality of your life. Let me ask you, when you were a kid, did you think to yourself, someday when I grow up, I want to be in debt, overweight, bored to death, watching 5 hours of TV every night, and divorced? Did you ever think that? No, of course not. No one consciously thinks that, right? We all think lofty things like being a firefighter. Okay, so you probably thought about your dreams and how you were going to have a perfect life. Chances are somebody probably brought, quote unquote, you down to earth, as many refer to it today. Chances are the people who brought you down probably weren't living their dreams either. Well, you can't change the past, right? But you can change the present, which will change the future. Your destiny can look a lot better if you start letting in those thoughts, those words, those actions, those habits. You'll have a great future. You are not made to be acted upon. You are a creature that was made with a higher thinking ability to act. You are not stuck where you are. Choosing to hang around people who are living their dreams, and there are plenty of them out there, let me assure you. You may not be seeing them very often because chances are you are currently running in a very different group of people than they do. So if you change that, you will start to see hundreds and thousands of people who have the life you dreamed of as a kid. It is not luck, nor is it because of who their parents were. There are plenty of people out there who come from horrible situations and rise. Conversely, there are lots of people who were born in families who were living the dream, and then when they grow up, they make a mess of their lives. Okay? In either situation, you get to choose who you are becoming by what you read, listen, and watch, and who you are intentionally choosing to hang out with. I would recommend that you find people who inspire you and listen to them. Find books that are personal development books and start reading those instead of just novels. Don't watch videos that show things that you find unacceptable and that aren't leading to the results that you want in life. Don't let your subconscious think that you want that for yourself. You, my friends, are made for more. Do you know that everyone on earth could live their dreams and this world would still work? It would still turn. People have different interests and different things they want. There isn't a certain number of people who can have their dreams and be happy, and then the rest of us must just be miserable because otherwise the whole economy would collapse. That isn't how it works. There isn't a status quo. You don't have to play a certain part in order to keep things going. You can play the part you want to play. And the good news is if you happen to come into a situation and they don't need any more of what you want, then you can just choose another situation. Let me give you an example. I am a musician. I play the trumpet. If I wanted to join a band and they told me that they already have enough trumpet players, but that they really need a flute player, does that somehow mean that I have to switch from the trumpet, which I love, and play the flute? No, I can find a different band, right? Which fits what I want to do. And that is what I am sure you would do too. So apply that and do that with your life. If someone tells you your job already has all the blank it needs, find a different company. Find a different city if you have to. But don't change who you are. Don't settle on the flute if you were born to play the trumpet. There are millions of options and opportunities out there. Don't get stuck in a limited mindset or a scarcity mindset. Think abundance, because abundance is all around you. In the Bible, in John 10:10, it says, from the words of Jesus, I am come that they might have life, and they might have it more abundantly. That sounds pretty great, right? Abundance. It doesn't just say that only some people can have this abundant life, but that everyone can. There was no limitations put on there. So stop settling and start playing the part you want. If the people you hang around with have a negative mindset about money and you want to be wealthy, don't hang around them. They are going to affect how you feel about money, and soon you won't have the same mindset. You'll start to settle. Anything that someone says or does that is negative that you don't like, stop hanging around those people who give you their negative opinions. Don't let their negativity rub off on you, because it will. And if you're one of those people who actually struggle with being the type of person people would want to hang out with, then start reading. Start going to seminars and listening and watching things that will change your thoughts. Make a conscious effort to start thinking positively, and then find friends who think positively. Chances are they will actually want to hang around you now, and you will help each other go in a positive upward spiral. Become the person that other people want to associate with, and that people with bad attitudes won't want to be around with too long. People who complain don't want someone to constantly show them the positive side. People who love gossiping don't want people to point out good things or change the subject. So if you start doing the opposite of them, eventually those people won't want to hang out with you anymore. And you will start attracting the type of people who will bring you better results, better health, better relationships, better opportunities. Your whole life will start to be a reflection of what you spend the most time thinking about, and that comes from who and what you associate with. You can do it. You can have the life you want. You can have your dreams. You can have it all. Thanks for listening, and make it a great day. Remember to subscribe to my channel so you can listen to other great talks. Also, give it a like and share it with others who you think may benefit.